You're listening to the sounds of the Wate, the world according to Eli.
You are now tuned in to the number one podcast in the world, The Wate, the world according to Eli. Music, sports, video games, and culture. So ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for the host of our show, Mr. Eli.
Yo, what's up? Welcome to The Wate, the world according to Eli. I'm your host, Eli. This is The Wate. We got a beautiful night. We got a beautiful show. Welcome my co-host, my dad.
What up, podcast world? Welcome to another episode of The Wate, the world according to Eli. Music, sports, video games, and culture. How you feeling?
Feeling good. Feeling great.
Feeling great. That's what I like to hear. We got another amazing
Episode 4?
Season 4, episode 4. We're going to clap that up.
Yeah.
We starting to crack the lid on this thing.
Yeah, a little bit,
right?
A little bit.
I'm
gonna ask you again because I'm starting to switch the question on you. How was your weekend?
Weekend is pretty good, pretty exciting. We got a lot of new things coming.
Yeah.
As a company.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? You got some announcements you're gonna be making pretty soon.
Pretty soon, 2020.
Yep. So right around 2020. Other than that, man, I mean, an exciting week of football.
Yeah. I can't believe you didn't stay up to.
I didn't make it, man.
Yeah, I know.
I didn't make it. I was having a tough one.
I was trying to text you and be like, yo, Dad, it's close. And then you was like,
I was out.
But we'll get into that. Well, we got some great football games. We're in the mid-season.
Yes,
right?
we in mid-season form.
And then with the NBA, we got to talk about the load management. It's a lot of turmoil with that.
A lot of turmoil, a lot of terminology going on. Let's get it started.
You're listening to the sounds of the Wate, the world according to Eli.
All right, so let's get into Week 10 in the NFL. We had the Packers versus the Panthers. It was 24-16. Packers won. Pulled that out. I think the critical call was in the second quarter.
Yes.
With that roughing the passer, which I freaking hate that rule.
Yes.
Only because you don't know when it's a real roughing the passer and just a great tackle, a.k.a. sack, on a defensive lineman trying to get to the quarterback.
Absolutely.
And knock out the ball and get the fumble or.
And you're taking away the defensive guy's power.
Right.
I know you're trying to protect the quarterback because y'all trying to sell tickets and all of that.
Right, absolutely.
But the quarterback is out there like everybody else.
Yeah.
And I didn't think that was a roughing the passer, but it changed the whole dynamics of the game.
Yeah, because then that started the momentum for the Packers.
Absolutely. And then Aaron Rodgers took full advantage of that.
Yeah.
And marched down the field. They're 8-2, and to me, they're a quiet 8-2.
Right. But here's the thing: he had 285 yards and 0 touchdowns.
Yeah, that's rare, but I think the running game was working.
By Aaron Jones, yeah, he had 3 touchdowns. So balanced out.
But that to me, that's the sign of a great quarterback.
Right.
Whatever's working. It's not about me putting up my numbers. It's about us taking full advantage of the weakness of the other team.
Right, and if I'm not clicking, then hopefully my running back and my offensive line can take over.
And they did that. And like I said, it's a very quiet 8-2.
Yeah.
Like nobody's really talking much about them. They've lost 2 games, but they haven't been losing much. Now, the 2 games they lost were embarrassing. The Chargers.
And to the Eagles.
And to the Eagles in Lambeau Field. But I think the Packers are going to be a team you're going to have to watch.
And their big testament really is going to be against the 49ers, which is a couple weeks away from now.
Oh, that's that. And they moved that to a Sunday night game.
Beautiful.
They had the Eagles and somebody else playing on Sunday, and they moved that game. No.
So how did you like this Kyle Allen quarterback? Is he the starting quarterback for the Panthers now?
I believe he is.
Even though he hasn't, I
believe he's getting very comfortable with the position.
Right.
I believe that Cam Newton's injuries are more than what they're leading on to believe.
Absolutely.
I believe Cam Newton needs a new environment. I believe Cam Newton became more about his brand a little bit more than about winning football games.
Especially after, I guess, Super Bowl 50?
Especially after Super Bowl 50.
But technically, me and you saw that in the cracks of Super Bowl 50 or leading to Super Bowl 50 that he was more about himself than the team.
Yeah, he was a front runner, all this Superman stuff. And, I understand your quarterback is the face of the franchise. And
as a black quarterback, you have to think about your brand.
Yeah, absolutely.
But,
and trying to last and
right, but you
inspire.
can't think about your brand before you win.
Right.
Winning takes care of the brand.
Absolutely.
If you branding yourself before you win, it
Like,
looks a little fake.
I feel the complete opposite when I watch Lamar Jackson play.
Yes.
Similar quarterback,
Yes.
a little bit more slimmer than Cam Newton, but he cares about his team more and trying to get that extra win. Like I saw it 2 weeks ago, he was arguing with John Harbaugh because he wanted to go down for the fourth and 2.
Right,
And
absolutely.
Harbaugh was trying to play. So he's like, no, I can get it. I can
I
get
can get it.
it.
I need you to trust me. And Harbaugh trusted him.
And he ran out and broke and went for extra yards and got the touchdown.
And got the touchdown. And that's Harbaugh showing trust in his young quarterback. And this guy's humble.
Right.
This guy, Lamar Jackson, is humble.
Right.
He knows he's fortunate to be in a position, and he's taking full
And he
advantage.
definitely had the chip on his shoulder because he was a late first-round draft pick. When we had a bunch of quarterbacks that wasn't really that good.
That got picked in front of him. Yeah. And those would be the motivations. That's what kept Tom Brady up at night. You know, motivated. How am I a 6th-round pick?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So now let me come out and show and execute.
So staying on the Panthers real quick and Cam Newton, I heard that there's interest in Denver.
Now that if he can heal.
Right.
Denver is always known for having a very good defense.
Right.
They're getting older now, but if he can heal properly, he would be the best quarterback they had since
Peyton Manning. Absolutely, because the Joe Flacco thing didn't pan out.
No, the Joe Flacco I think is at. I thought maybe they can.
In the bottom, absolutely.
And
the second game we had was the Vikings versus the Cowboys.
Very disappointing. Very disappointing.
That was Vikings winning 28-24.
Very disappointing game. I mean, overall a good game. And I thought,
but it was very disappointing because Dak was on fire.
Absolutely,
he was very accurate with his throwing, and he was looking like almost an elite. Oh, not. I don't want to say elite, but
he had 3 touchdowns. Right. 300+ yards. He was balling.
Right. Elite like esque.
Yes, right. Elite-esque. Absolutely.
And then I believe it was 4th and 2 and they had to go for some extra yards. And on the last, mind you, you've been throwing it to Cooper all game. And
First of all, they picked up, it was 2nd and 2,
right,
3rd and 2, and 4th and 2. And they couldn't get 2 yards.
On the 4th down.
They couldn't get 2 yards on the 2nd down.
Oh, okay, right. On the 3rd down.
Because remember, they ran it twice.
Right. And Ezekiel. And the 3rd and 2, Ezekiel looked like he tripped over one of his teammates.
He slipped.
And
it looked really bad. And my thing is this. You can't get you in your building.
Right.
It's not like you're on the road and the crowd and you just.
Also, you do need a touchdown because you're down by 4.
You need a touchdown. So you can't y'all can't draw up a play to get 2 yards. When they got down there, I don't know if that's the head coach,
right,
or somebody else.
No, to me it is.
Yeah, he has to go.
He has to go.
I
gave him a shot when he first got his job in 2010. I said, "Dad, give him a shot." Like he just started.
No,
me
and Malcolm discussed. Jerry Jones doesn't want a very dominant head coach because he wants to be the dominant force.
Right.
So he wants a passive head coach, and the Dallas Cowboys deserve a dominant head coach.
And that's why 2 legends that was coaching for the Cowboys,
Jimmy Johnson,
and what was the other one?
Bill Parcells.
Bill Parcells.
They got out of there.
You're right, because we know what we're doing. Just sit on the
sit on the side.
Rob has Bill Belichick, and he knows not to interfere.
Rob Kraft is one of the best owners to have. All he do is cut the checks.
Right.
He trusts in his staff and what they do. Tell me what you guys need. I'll cut the checks.
And the only time I disagreed with Rob was when he cut Jimmy. Or we didn't get a top draft pick for Jimmy G.
Right.
But I understood that because
that was politics.
Right. And because Tom eventually got us to 2 more Super Bowls.
Right.
And
Tom was like, listen, get this guy out of here. I don't want him breathing over my neck.
Right.
It's my job. I'm not going anywhere.
Absolutely.
And he proved it by getting them the 2 more Super Bowl appearances.
Absolutely.
So, but for the most part, you know,
on the 4th and 2, because after Elliott didn't get the 2 yards, it was 4th and 2, and I'm thinking, okay, throw it to Cooper or anybody else who's a wide receiver,
right?
Because they've been catching it every time Dak's been throwing it, and you go to Ezekiel.
I think they thought maybe they would get a matchup confusion and have maybe a lineman pick up Ezekiel coming out of the backfield. Sometimes that happens.
But and I believe that did happen, but the linebacker just beat him to the.
He beat him to the spot, looked like a linebacker to me.
Right.
He was very athletic. Absolutely. And I don't think they got the matchup they wanted.
And like you always say, nowadays linebackers can
they can run,
can play like
they can play. They're very athletic, absolutely,
and very fast. But Cowboys are in trouble. They have the Eagles on their neck now,
and I believe the Eagles have the easier schedule minus next week when the Eagles
against New England, right?
Got to face the Patriots, but down the stretch, and then the Cowboys still got to go into Philadelphia.
Right, and then they still have to play the Patriots on top. They have
it's a very tough schedule, and I don't think the Cowboys will make it.
Right.
I think
the Thursday night game we had the Raiders versus the Chargers. The Raiders won 26-24, and Rivers threw 3 interceptions.
Yeah, I've been rooting for Rivers,
right?
But I don't know if he's gonna make it.
Yeah, I like Rivers up until the point where I feel like he's a talker and doesn't quite back it up. Like he's a very talented trash talker.
Oh, he gets at
and when he backs it up,
it's
awesome.
a problem. It's good for TV.
But I don't like it when he likes to whine to the refs, and because I don't see veteran quarterbacks normally do that.
Yes.
Unless they know for a fact, dude, you messed up my call. That messed up the momentum of the game.
Right.
Like I believe a couple years ago, the Patriots had a tough Texas game, and it was clearly a touchdown. And remember that controversial?
Yeah, I remember a couple of things.
And
I've seen Brady just let the referee know for something that's coming.
Right.
Like pay attention to this.
Right. Or play
but never whine
yeah.
the way Rivers does. And I think he's gonna be one of them quarterbacks who just never get a shot at it.
Yeah, and it's NFL is a scary game because one moment you're like 11-5 and almost to the promised land, and then the next you can be 4-6.
Yes.
And
the very next season, it's the only sport where you can go from the bottom to the top or from the top to the bottom.
Right. And except for like dynasty
organizations. Right. Teams that I think the Raiders, like we said, have won some big games.
Yeah.
And I think they might sneak into the playoffs.
Yeah, but then you also got Pittsburgh. It's really going to be between those two to get that number 6 spot.
Yeah. Pittsburgh has won, I think, 4 or 5 in a row. And quietly, that's a veteran squad. But tell me who your quarterback is.
That's how
I'll tell who's going to win. And I don't even know the name of the quarterback for the Pittsburgh.
And have you been impressed with John Gruden so far with the contract?
I have. Because I believe it's going to take some time for him to change the culture in the Raiders organization.
And I think we said it was going to have a good 7 years.
Yes.
Out of that 10, and if you can't put us back on the map, then I think it's only going to really take 5.
Right, but he has a 10-year deal. They'll pay him for the last 2 or 3.
Right.
If the culture gets toxic.
Right, and just out of common courtesy, just out of respect. But we'll see what happens. They have the Chargers face the Chiefs this week, so
that's gonna be a good game.
That's gonna be a big game for both teams.
Both teams need a win bad.
Right, and speaking of the Chiefs, they got defeated by the Titans, 35-32. Patrick Mahomes, he threw for 446 yards and 3 touchdowns.
Yes, so he did his job. He put his team down in position.
Right, and it was basically off
to kick a field goal.
To kick a field goal that got blocked.
Special
in the Monday night game.
Special teams
and
playoffs. If they don't shore up their defense,
especially against keep going.
No, go ahead.
Especially against the Ravens and the Patriots because they're both explosive. Well, the Patriots don't have an explosive offense,
but they know how to exploit.
But they know how to exploit your weaknesses.
Absolutely. So that's what worries me as we move into the second half. But a lot can happen in the second half of the season.
Yeah, absolutely. We witnessed the Giants go.
Oh yeah, get in 9-7,
and then
but they won their last 3 regular season games,
and they beat big teams. They beat the Packers. They beat, I think, the Falcons in the wild card, the Giants. The Packers in the second round, and then the 49ers in the third
Absolutely. Round. So, and the 3 games leading up were playoff-like games because they had to win them all.
Right. Absolutely.
So for them, the playoffs had started 3 weeks earlier, and those are the teams that scare me.
Right.
The ones where the playoffs start. If we don't win these games, we're out.
So are you worried about the Chiefs' record being 6-4?
I am. I still think they'll wind up 10-6, maybe 11-5.
Okay.
More like 10-6. And but if they don't,
because that next big game, well, it's also this week and a couple weeks down the road when you got to go into New England.
Right. So your games,
but I always, which is it might end up being true. By that point in time, that game might not be as important.
Right.
If you don't handle your business on another thing, because I know the Patriots know what
they're going to handle their business.
So
absolutely. So we'll see how that plays.
Just go to them being too cold, dependent like an Aaron Rodgers.
Right.
In Green Bay.
Too dependent on the quarterback to get it done. Right. And it's been proven that the teams that have great running games to keep Mahomes on the sidelines. Now, obviously, he threw for 446 yards and 3 touchdowns, and he threw 50 passes. Absolutely. So he was firing that ball.
Yeah.
And he made a couple of acrobatic plays.
And you got 2 deep threat wide receivers in Sammy Watkins and Tyreek Hill.
Yeah, but if you're going to give up just as much as you score, then we have a dilemma on our hands.
We had another game, which was a pretty big upset, which was the Falcons defeating the Saints.
That was a big game. The Saints only scored 9 points in this game.
Which is only 3 field goals because Drew Brees had 0 touchdowns.
Right. So, and I know Brees had a great game, his first game back.
Right.
So we know it's not Brees, but something happened where you let the Falcons, a bad team, and a loss like that can come back to haunt you.
Yeah. It's almost like
they're still 8-2. Yes.
Yeah, they're still 8-2. But it's but then again, it's a divisional round.
So
I don't always believe in that against when it comes to my Patriots or just other teams. I always expect the top dog team.
But them division games is always tough because them teams face each other twice a year,
right?
And they know each other's personnel well.
Absolutely.
So records usually don't matter as much. Yeah.
And the Monday night game, which was the Seahawks beating the 49ers, who were undefeated in this game.
Yeah, so we have no more undefeated teams.
No more undefeated teams. They won 27-24 in overtime.
Great classic game from what I hear.
Yep.
I fell asleep at halftime at this one. I know Michael Morris, I believe his last name is Morris, from the Miami Dolphins, always pops a bottle of champagne when the last undefeated team for that year loses a game.
Got you.
So I'm pretty sure he had his bottle on ice.
Right.
And now everyone has fallen back to the pack. It's funny how one loss brings you way back to the pack.
Yeah. And this was a big game for both of them because obviously the 49ers want to keep the streak going.
Yes.
And Seahawks had to win to bring them back down to at least try to fight for the division.
Absolutely. So the Seahawks have them right where they want them.
And it was a dogfight. They sacked Russell Wilson, I believe, 5 times, forced 2 fumbles. But Clowney got to Jimmy G a lot.
Yes.
Forced him to fumble and picked it up.
We like Clowney in Seattle.
Yeah, because he's a little bit more loose and he's not hiding over or behind J.J. Watt's shadow.
Right. He's got his own thing going. I believe absolutely. And the first half of the game for one was very intense. Yeah. There was some hard hitting going on in this game.
And I'm taking 49ers defense very seriously.
Okay, yeah.
After watching them for 3 games in a row.
I always ask you, who's the quarterback?
Right.
And then who's the head coach?
Right.
And ultimately, from what you and Malcolm...
Yeah, absolutely.
And he made mistakes he shouldn't have made.
Right. And he didn't have that spider senses that I always say veteran quarterbacks have when the pocket collapsed.
Got you.
Because when the pocket collapsed, either 2 things. Either I got to get out of the pocket and move my feet, which, by the way, Russell Wilson does so beautifully.
Is the best, yes.
So beautifully. Or I'm going to just, go down automatically and don't force the fumble.
Right. And don't turn the ball over. Absolutely.
Now, here's the thing. You always say the best quarterback gets you the wins, but how does that play when you have just an outstanding defense?
Well, that's the exception to the rule.
Okay.
When an outstanding defense, you need a quarterback who can manage the game and don't make mistakes.
Because managing the game.
Right. We saw Flacco do it with the Raiders. Ravens defense.
Right.
We defense, and then the Ravens in 1990 defense, I believe, or to hold it, and they held true to that.
That was
2000, right? So give me 10 points.
Right.
And we're going to hold this. So sometimes you do have a defense that's just so stout.
Okay, got you.
The 85 Bears. Oh, right. When I tell you, and that was when they were still allowing you to hit.
Right, and extremely hard.
Bro.
And Russell Wilson is my MVP. I know he didn't have a great stat line.
I'm gonna say Lamar Jackson's got to be in that conversation.
Yeah, but I feel like they're gonna push him a little too much for that.
Okay, we'll see.
Like the definitive.
No, if I had to give a vote right now, I'd say Russell Wilson. He's been in the league longer.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
He deserves it.
This is Lamar Jackson's.
Yeah, it's going to come down to wins and losses.
Yeah, absolutely. So,
and I believe the Ravens have a better chance in their division. Seattle.
But here's the thing. Seattle, first of all, has an easier schedule these next, I believe, 6 or 7 games. Matter of fact, they have a bye coming off this win.
Okay, that's great.
And they got to go back into Seattle and play them again.
Yes.
And by that time, it's going to be on the line.
Okay.
So,
we'll see how that works out. But that was an amazing Monday night game.
Yeah, the game.
And now let's talk basketball.
You're listening to the sounds of the Wate, the world according to Eli.
All right, let's talk about some NBA stuff and NBA news.
NBA stuff is fantastic.
So we have the Kawhi Leonard load management.
Yeah, so what do you feel about that? Kawhi Leonard is 28 years old, yes?
Yeah, 28 years old.
And I understood the load management with Toronto last year, coming off the injury.
Right, coming off the injury.
He gave this big press conference this year. I'm healthy. I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
So now I'm expecting him to dig in.
So here's what I know so far. I know for a fact, not for a fact, but I know strongly that when he met with Jerry West in that private meeting, that load management was in his contract.
Yes, it has to be.
It has to, because now I'm trying to get that to the promised land. I can't really play 82 games.
Yeah, now none of these guys play 82 games anymore.
Yeah, but
I'm expecting him to play 75 games.
Right, absolutely.
76 games.
But for him, it's gonna be 65, maybe 60. Because I do know for a fact when we look at the Western Conference, their record is not gonna determine how the team plays.
No, but you do want to have home court advantage.
Here's the thing, though. When they face the Lakers,
they have
same building.
Right.
All they gotta change is
so one
the
team could be 3 and the other team could be 6.
As long as they're not either the number 4 to 5 seed or, like you said, the number 3.
But in the same building, you could be the number 3 seed.
But here's the thing.
Right.
And then,
you want to play them for the money.
I want to play them for the money. But anyway, I know that, and I know they have Paul George. I don't know how they're going to manage that.
Well, I don't think Paul George is on any load management.
No, I don't think so. But I do know because they have Paul George coming back, they can do it a little bit more.
Yeah, but people are paying to see at the same time.
Okay, so here's the thing. Do you have a problem with him doing that on the road or just during TV games?
Big games. I thought the Bucks game was a big game.
Yeah, I did too.
Yeah. So if you're playing Sacramento, you might want to sit that one out.
Right.
But you was going up against Giannis. He's the league MVP, and you're the finals MVP.
Right.
And this was a chance for
y'all. And Giannis wants to prove that wasn't... that
was a fluke.
That was a fluke, right.
And he came to mentally to play, and you're sitting in a suit. People forget Michael Jordan played 8 years of 82 games.
Yeah.
These are Iron Men back in those days. Now, don't get me wrong. Your career lasts longer now by managing it a little bit.
I would agree to the low management for, mind you, San Antonio when they did it for Tim Duncan.
They started that craziness.
Right. But it worked at the time because it was Tim Duncan.
And they was at the twilight of their career.
Right, for the trio.
Absolutely.
Understandable. And for LeBron James or like a D-Wade or Chris Paul, who is at 31, 32, and I need you mainly for the playoffs.
Right.
I don't need you for the regular season.
But you're 28 years old or 29.
Right. And
you need to be out there.
You need to be out there. And 2, this won't really become a big problem if he gets them to the promised land again.
Right. Now, if that's going to be the formula.
Because that's how he did it with Toronto.
Now, that was an asterisk because there are a lot of things that had to go right for that to go right.
Right. Okay.
All of them injuries to the Warriors. If the Warriors put a healthy team out there,
no.
I don't care who Kawhi stepped out there with.
LeBron. I mean, like KD said to Ibaka, y'all would have been shook.
Y'all would have been shook. So we know that. We all know that.
Yeah.
Just like we know if Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving plays that first year against the Warriors, beat the Warriors.
Oh, you talking LeBron?
I'm talking about LeBron.
You said, did you say KD?
Yeah, I meant Kevin Love.
Yeah.
And Kyrie.
Gotcha.
So my point is, things went right for that to go right.
Right. Absolutely.
And I don't think load management would have helped him with Kevin Durant breathing down his neck.
Yeah, man.
The easy money sniper putting up numbers.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Miami has suspended Dion Waiters for taking an edible on the plane.
Yeah, I heard about that. And then he got a little crazy.
Yeah, had a little bit of a panic attack. And he was already on suspension because, mind you, he hasn't played.
But what was he on suspension for? We don't know.
I don't remember, and it's like not coming to me at the moment. But they had to add a 10-game suspension.
Yeah, they're going to trade him now.
Yeah.
Now he's trade bait.
And they technically don't need him because mind you, they've been playing a lot.
They've been playing amazing.
And they had Jimmy Butler, who was
right.
getting
Jimmy
buckets.
Butler fills that role of the alpha male of that team.
Right.
And they're playing well. But
it would have been beautiful to have Dion Waiters as your sixth man to back up to
he
Jimmy.
can shoot the basketball.
Right.
He can shoot one.
And he shoots like a Lance Stevenson or J.R. Smith where it's a big shot. I want to take it.
Right. He may miss some wide open easy ones, but them big shots, he going to take them and he going to make them
and
in most cases.
Off the weed. Okay? You get paid big bucks to just sit there, go to training facility,
and work out.
Now,
and then play in the game, you get paid millions of dollars.
Now, if you're a legend, like if you're like a Hall of Famer or just an old time,
and even then, you have your off season to do whatever you want to do,
right,
and clean yourself up for the season. Worst case scenario, because
but don't they also give you drug tests?
But we know the weed situation is changing because of the medicinal. Benefits.
Yeah.
So the NBA is going to have to change, but until it does, you still got to follow by the rules.
Absolutely.
Right? So because there's a lot of manic depressives and people who use it to calm themselves down,
I'm not
including pain. But the rules say you can't do it. You can't do it.
Right. That's not. I'm not saying you can't benefit off of it for your own personal needs. I'm just saying you get paid millions not to do it right now.
Absolutely.
Because it's in the rule book and it's in your contract.
I can't argue with that.
So, bad news for Boston right now, the Boston Celtics, because Gordon Hayward just broke his hand.
Gordon Hayward was starting to cook.
He was starting to come back to that all-star Utah
And
days.
we spoke about how last year was, that year you building your confidence back.
Right, because he needs
But the second year back off that injury.
Absolutely, and because he needs to feel supported off of that leg.
Absolutely.
I need to feel like, okay, I can jump off this leg comfortably.
Yes.
And, but the good thing is he's only going to be out for 6 weeks. Not like a couple months.
Clap that up. Only 6 weeks. And hopefully, because Jaylen Brown the last couple of games has had 25 and 30.
As long as Jaylen Brown and Tatum can hold down the fort. And
Kemba Walker.
Kemba Walker. He's had his longest game-winning streak.
In his career.
8 games.
So a whole time he in Charlotte, he's never won this many games straight.
Yeah, that's
crazy.
But
that's what happens when you go to a winning franchise.
Yeah, absolutely. And you have help. Side note, I didn't realize he was so unselfish. It's only because I haven't been watching him a lot when he was in Charlotte, but now I'm watching him way more. He's a very unselfish.
Yes, he can bully. He gives up that rock, and he's looking for his open man. And they're going to be the surprise team in the East.
Them and Miami.
Yes. I don't know if Miami can sustain it for 82 games.
But, dude, it looks like they have enough help.
But that's why I always say give teams 20 games.
True.
And then I'll be able to determine where they are.
So does Gordon still become an all-star after the hand?
I don't think he will, but I do think if he gets healthy at the right time, going into the all-star break, coming out into the playoffs, they're going to be a dangerous team.
Absolutely.
They're going to be a dangerous team.
Kris Middleton is out 3 to 4 weeks with a thigh contusion.
Okay, so that's the bone here on the thigh.
Okay.
Maybe he had it bruised. Somebody could run their knee into your thigh.
Gotcha. I don't be knowing the whole body part.
Yeah, and so he said how 4 to 6?
3 to 4.
Okay, 3 to 4. The injuries are part of the game now.
Yeah, but that's gonna really hurt Milwaukee not having Giannis's right-hand man.
Yeah, he was a quiet assassin.
And 2, this also hurts him even more because you don't have your backup, Malcolm Brogdon, to back Kris Middleton up.
Absolutely. So we're going to see what Giannis is made of now.
Right.
What kind of people hold on the fort.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, we'll see what happens. D'Angelo and Dame became the first two players to score 50-plus points in the same night since Vince Carter and AI.
Clap that up. Dame went for 60.
And D'Angelo Russell went for 52.
52? You think it is?
Yeah. But
he clearly has green light now.
No, and the problem is, I don't know if they're going to use the LeBron tactic, which is, see, look at our little shiny new toy.
Yeah, but when you got a guy who can put up 50.
No, but it's perfect though. Like I said, you dangle the new shiny toy, get a trade piece back, either a big man, or you decide to keep him. I don't know.
I think you keep him for the season to put people in the seats.
Right, and then you get
and then in the off season,
right,
you say, listen, this guy went for 50 for 5 different games or whatever.
I do also think he can possibly become another All-Star now.
Absolutely, and Dame, Dame just do what Dame does.
Yeah, the only sad part about this is they both lost those games.
And the Portland is playing bad right now.
Yeah. And I do agree with Charles Barkley because he was saying they need to trade one of those three pieces, either Whiteside, C.J. McCutcheon, and you're not trading Dame, but
Well, I thought Ben should have traded C.J., but he committed to the team.
Right.
Dame committed to the team. Whiteside is just going wherever he is. And then, what's their center name? He'll be back soon.
Nurkic?
Nurkic will be back soon.
Yeah, that's too many. You either got to get rid of CJ or Nurkic.
Yeah, because the chemistry needs something to offset it.
Right, and I do believe they could. I would trade for Kevin Love.
Yes.
I like Kevin Love way more than Nurkic.
Kevin Love is going to be a valuable piece. LeBron won't go get him because he can't defend.
Right.
But
for
in Portland, it's perfect.
It's perfect.
He's from Portland.
Right.
I believe. You know what I mean? And he can stretch the floor. But I think LeBron would love to have the deadly shooting. But if you can't defend.
You could go get J.R. Smith.
Again, he might give the ball to the other team with the game on the line.
Well,
And I like J.R. Smith. I do.
We'll see what happens. San Antonio. Should not because I'm wearing the jersey right now.
Yep. Shout out to San Antonio.
They retired Tony Parker's jersey.
Yes. Now, I looked up his numbers.
Oh, stats.
His stats.
Me and you was debating if he should
be in the Hall of Fame.
Right.
3-time All-Star. I think that's along with the regular,
What's his normal career stats though? Like
I only concerned with the
big accolades.
I looked at the big accolades and said he's a Finals MVP.
Right.
He's got 4 rings on his finger, and he's a 3-time All-Star. And he might have made a second defensive team or all defensive team. So I believe that's going to be enough. I can't ignore that, Eli.
Ooh. Sorry, I'm looking at something. Yeah, I can't ignore that either. That was good.
So that might be
that might get it done. Yeah, that might get it done.
Yeah.
Especially the fact that he got a Finals MVP.
That's what did it.
Yeah.
I said, wow, he's got a Finals MVP.
Yeah.
That's the pinnacle of what it is.
So Kawhi faced the Raptors, his old team.
Yes, and he's terrible.
And he only had 13 points.
He had 9 assists.
9 assists with 9 turnovers.
And 9 turnovers.
Yeah.
And they made fun of LeBron the night before. At least Skip Bayless did. Because LeBron had 13, and 15.
Right.
This dude had 13, 9, and 11 plus 9 turnovers.
Yeah.
I mean, that's in a big game like that. So,
they get smoked. It's currently 37 Clippers, 49 Houston.
Oh, they cutting some of the cutting deficit.
So
they have some things to work out too, as all.
But
teams
once again, that might go back to the fact that you only been playing 4 games out of the last 10,
and you need to get into a rhythm as a ball player.
Right.
You need to hit a stride of listen.
Right.
I'm going 10 games to get this rhythm going.
Which is explaining the performance because he's not really putting up the numbers.
Right.
He should be.
Well, we'll see because he's been doing this thing in the fourth quarter and then deferring to Sweet Lou.
Right.
Because we know that Sweet Lou.
I'm hoping that they don't do the low management with Paul George.
No, I don't think they are. I think they said when Paul comes back,
he's gonna fully go.
He's gonna go.
Okay, that's good.
I believe that's what they said. I'm not too sure.
That's good.
You're listening to the sounds of the Wate, the world according to Eli.
On to some culture.
Some news.
Yeah.
Some events.
So, Drake got booed off a stage.
Was this the first time ever Drake ever got booed?
First time. I mean, probably.
No, it was the first time I would say this is the first time we witnessed it.
So,
like on camera.
Give me the backdrop. Why did they boo this man, Drake, the greatest performer of all time?
He was at a Tyler the Creator festival.
Oh, Tyler the Creator.
I'm sorry. Tyler the Creator festival. Flognog. And he was the special guest. And I'm assuming they Ocean and Drake came out, and I heard that the creators like fan base audience is like more hippie.
Yeah,
like,
so Drake doesn't meet their criteria.
Right, basically. And
so they booed him by default.
Right.
Okay. I thought he was having like a bad performance.
Nah.
And he was getting booed. But
there was some people that were actually singing along with it, but it was just like the front.
The front,
gotcha.
But that makes sense. If I'm here for Tyler the Creator, Frank Ocean, that's a different crowd.
Yeah, but here's the thing: you didn't know who the special guest was,
right?
But you just assumed it was gonna be Frank Ocean,
right?
And Tyler had to go on Twitter and be like, "Dude, I apologize for my fans."
Yeah,
because I'm thinking to me he's one of the greatest performers, and artists I've ever seen.
That's like mixing audience. Sometimes it don't work.
Yeah, and ironically, Drake. Number one, he went to Instagram. He was like, I just signed a 10-year contract to pop up to these events 10 more years in a row.
Wow.
Just to be funny.
Oh, okay.
And then he said, well, he actually listened to the fans. He's like, yo, if y'all don't want me, I can dip. And then he just got off.
Okay. Well, no sweat off his back. He has his built-in fan audience.
Right.
And when I pay for a Drake concert, I know what I'm getting.
Absolutely. And so in other news, we had the Disney Plus came out, I believe, last night.
Yes, we ordered that. You're having some technical difficulties.
I am.
I will fix you up. I think, but they did say.
But also, aren't you having technical difficulties? You don't even know if you.
But when I called up, they said, we're experiencing high call volumes.
Right.
And that's because everybody probably tried to order it at once. But I think it's worth $6. I paid for the whole year in advance. I get those kind of shows for my nieces, my nephews,
and it's great to have.
Sure,
it's great to jump into your imagination at times.
Yes,
and be like a kid.
Absolutely. Your mom's didn't see that.
Yeah, she definitely did.
She was like, I don't see the big deal, and I'm like, you just don't get it.
Right, and then like me and you were talking about, I put you on to like Billy and Mandy.
Yes.
That's a Raven at times.
You put me onto a lot of that stuff that now is etched into my subconscious mind.
So now, do you think they'll or
I told you
Netflix?
I think Apple's game plan is a 10-year plan,
right?
When your children will go, Apple's the best,
right?
And you be like, I remember when Apple first got started,
or Netflix.
So. Right now, I think this was a power move by Disney to consolidate all of what they do in one place, and it's going to be tough to beat that. Even though I'm hearing Netflix hooked up to try to get into some of that young crowd, and these are moves being made on the chessboard. It's chess being played.
Yeah, absolutely. Colin Kaepernick has had tryouts for other teams.
I believe it's this Saturday. He's going to try out for other teams. I'm not sure being away from the game for 3 years can get you a starting job.
You can be in shape or has, but I did see a few of his. This was a while ago. He was working out with OBJ.
Yeah, that was cute. That was cute. But that timing that a quarterback have with his receivers, with his line, with his running back, you just can't have that. You have to develop that. And I'm not sure him being out of the league this long.
And does this remove his, I guess, political stance on?
We'll see. Is he gonna kneel? Is he not gonna kneel?
Right. So
all of these things will come into play at some point if a team takes a chance on him.
Well, we'll see what happens. Most likely he'll probably get a backup job.
Yeah.
Unless Denver doesn't,
you have to start with a backup job, and
unless Denver doesn't get Cam Newton, and you can possibly.
but I still would start him during a preseason.
Yeah.
I wouldn't bring him in now and try to,
Absolutely. And the NCAA has made James Wiseman ineligible for the 2020 season
for the Memphis
Tigers.
For the college Memphis Tigers, because explain something with Penny Hardaway.
Yeah, Penny Hardaway told James Wiseman's family to move from Nevada to Memphis.
This is before he was the head coach.
This is before he was the head coach, and NCAA made him consider
doing that.
And then later on he became the head coach. So it makes it look like a conflict of interest.
It makes it look like he was conspiring, to get this guy
and I guess benefit off of.
Yeah, which is very tough.
Right, and Penny was saying, dude, I didn't know I was going to be the coach because it was a surprise to me.
Absolutely,
I ended up taking it because I recruited. I have a mutual, interest
absolutely.
On the team. But I can see how that looks,
Yeah, how it can get fishy.
Yeah.
So we wish him the best.
Also on NCAA news, they just they made the beneficial offer likeness.
Oh, the NCAA likeness rule.
Right.
Yeah, we didn't speak about that last week. That came through last week, where now you can benefit off your likeness.
Right, and you don't have to, where the higher ups like the boosters can benefit. Yeah, so I can make money off of myself.
Absolutely.
Also, side note, this can potentially bring back the NCAA EA Sports video game that we.
Let's clap that up. Because now that money gonna be doled out.
Right, so we can, see what happens.
Absolutely.
And yeah.
Let's get into these football picks.
All right, week 11.
You're listening to the sounds of the Wate, the world according to Eli.
Malcolm, you got a pen? So
we're going into week 11.
Week 11.
The score is
here's 10, a pen.
10-15.
All right. So not bad.
So
we both kind of did exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So it's 15-10.
Yeah.
Dad has got the lead in this one.
Absolutely.
Okay, so now we got tomorrow's game.
Yeah.
Steelers and Browns. This is going to be a good one.
I got the Steelers.
You got the Steelers?
I'm impressed with the Browns, though, from last week because they beat the Bills.
I too, will take the Steelers. I think they've hit a stride here, and they're rolling. Falcons and Panthers division game.
Who you got in that?
I'm going to take the Panthers.
Okay, give me the Panthers as well.
Eli will take the Panthers as well. Cowboys and Lions. The Cowboys got to get this win.
Yeah, Cowboys.
Eli, too, will take the Cowboys. Jaguars and Colts.
Jaguars
at home.
and
Colts at home.
I'm taking
Jaguars in that one.
Colts at 5-4.
Bills and Dolphins. Me too on the Bills. Texans and Ravens.
Oh.
Good game.
Deshaun Watson?
Deshaun Watson against Lamar Jackson.
I'm taking
in Baltimore.
I'm taking Deshaun.
You taking Texans?
Yeah, I'm taking the Texans.
I'll take the Ravens. Broncos and the Vikings.
Vikings. Give me the Vikings.
Yes, me too. Jets and Redskins. Who cares?
Who you got?
I'll take the Redskins.
All right, give me the
Saints and Bucks.
Saints. Because
Cardinals and 49ers.
Give me the 49ers.
Yeah. Don't even play with that mess.
Yeah.
Bengals and Raiders.
Raiders. Give me the Raiders.
Bengals and yeah. I think the Raiders gets that done. Patriots and Eagles.
Patriots here right now.
I think we'll both take the Patriots. No.
You was talking a lot of smack like 2 weeks now, saying the Eagles is gonna run us in the ground.
I think the week off, coming off a nasty loss for the Patriots.
Dude, they both have weeks off though.
But the Patriots got a nasty taste in their mouth.
Whatever.
So Bears and Rams.
Who you got?
I'm gonna take the Bears.
All right, give me the Rams.
And Monday night game is Chiefs and Chargers.
I'm going to gamble and take the Chargers.
Okay.
I'm going to gamble and take the Chargers.
I'll take the Chiefs.
All right.
And we'll see how that works out.
Yep.
For week number 11, yes?
Yep. And this is another beautiful episode of
Another
The Wate.
beautiful episode. Where can we be reached?
We can be reached on SoundCloud, iTunes, Twitter, IG, Snapchat, YouTube, and Facebook, all at The Wate Podcast. Follow me on all social media platforms. Hit the bell notification, and I will see you guys next week.
We are out of here. Peace.
You are now tuned in to the number one podcast in the world, The Wate, the world according to Eli. Music, sports, video games, and culture. So ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for the host